Hello, America, or should I say the land of the free, and home to some truly bizarre laws. Seriously, you guys have some weird ones. Look, we all know America loves a good law, almost as much as it loves a loophole in a law. But this isn't about loopholes, this is about the laws that seem to have been written by someone who lost a bet with a sentient gumball machine. You won't believe these bizarre laws that are still on the books in the United States. We're talking about laws that make you scratch your head and say, wait, that's illegal? From regulating the bounciness of pickles to the sleeping arrangements of donkeys, these laws are as baffling as they are hilarious. From the downright silly to the utterly baffling, here are 10 crazy laws that exist only in America. Strap yourselves in because we're about to dive headfirst into the strange world of American legislation. Buckle up! Our first stop on this cross-country journey of legal oddities takes us to the great state of Alabama, where the sweet tea is strong, and the laws are even stronger. Now, Alabama is known for a lot of things, but did you know it's also a hotbed of mustache-related legal drama? You see, in Alabama, it's illegal to wear a fake mustache that causes laughter in church. I'm not making this up. Somewhere, in the annals of Alabama law, there is a statute dedicated to preventing people from disrupting church services with the sheer hilarity of their fake facial hair. Now, I've got questions. Firstly, what constitutes a laughter-inducing mustache? Is it a handlebar that tickles the nose of the person in the next pew? A curly little number that resembles a certain dictator we all know and try to forget? Is it simply the act of wearing a fake mustache at all? And how on earth do you enforce this law? Do you station a humorless police officer at the church door, armed with a laugh-o-meter and a pair of tweezers? Are there undercover mustache police blending into the congregation, waiting for someone to crack a smile at an unfortunately placed piece of synthetic face fuzz? Look, I'm not a legal scholar, but it seems to me that this law might be a tad difficult to enforce. But hey, at least Alabama's churches are safe from the scourge of uproarious fake mustaches. At least for now. Next, we mosey on over to Arizona, land of the Grand Canyon, scorching heat, and donkeys with a peculiar aversion to bathtubs. Yes, you heard that right. In Arizona, it is against the law to allow a donkey to sleep in a bathtub. I'm not sure what's more baffling, the fact that this law exists, or the fact that someone, somewhere, felt the need to write it down and make it official. Now, I'm not an expert on donkey sleeping habits. Maybe there was a rash of bathtub-loving donkeys back in the day, keeping Arizonans awake with their nocturnal braying. Or perhaps some rogue sheriff had a vendetta against a particularly well-rested donkey named Clementine, who just happened to enjoy a good soak. Whatever the reason, this law raises more questions than it answers. Like, how do you know when a donkey is asleep? Do they snore? Do they close their donkey eyes? And what constitutes a bathtub, legally speaking? Can a donkey sleep in a kiddie pool? What about a jacuzzi? This law is a head-scratcher to say the least. But hey, at least you can rest assured that if you ever find yourself in Arizona, you won't be kept awake by the sound of a donkey snoring peacefully in the tub. Probably. Hold on to your hats, folks, because we're about to enter the strange and wonderful world of Connecticut pickle regulations. In Connecticut, the land of charming villages and questionable pickle-related legislation, a pickle must be able to bounce to be considered a pickle. Yes, you heard that right. Forget taste, texture, or even the presence of dill. In Connecticut, it all comes down to bounce. Now, I consider myself somewhat of a connoisseur of pickled cucumbers, but I've never once judged a pickle by its ability to rebound off a hard surface. What kind of law requires a pickle to be able to bounce? Is there a secret society of pickle-hating legislators out there, determined to keep non-bouncing pickles down? And what happens if a pickle fails the bounce test? Is it banished from the pickle jar, forced to live a life of shame and ridicule? Is there a special pickle court where these matters are adjudicated? This law is truly the dilemma that keeps on giving, but hey, at least you know that when you bite into a Connecticut pickle, it's guaranteed to have a certain spring in its step, or at least a slight rebound. Chapter 4, Florida, Sunshine State, Shady Laws. Hold on to your oranges because our next stop is Florida, the Sunshine State, where the beaches are beautiful, the alligators are abundant, and the laws are, well, let's just say they're unique. In Florida, it's illegal to sell your children. Now, I know what you're thinking. John, that's not that crazy. It should be illegal everywhere to sell your children. And you'd be right, of course. But that's the thing about Florida. They took something that should be common sense and felt the need to make it a law. Which begs the question, what prompted this legal masterpiece? Was there a black market for children running rampant in the Everglades? Did some entrepreneurial Floridian try to set up a kiddie kiosk on South Beach, only to be foiled by the long arm of the law? Whatever the reason, this law serves as a stark reminder that in Florida, even the most obvious things need to be spelled out. So, parents of Florida, consider yourselves warned, no matter how tempting it might be to trade your little cherubs for a timeshare or a lifetime supply of sunscreen, just remember, it's against the law. Chapter 5, Indiana hands off the fish. Next we're heading to Indiana, the Hoosier state, where basketball is king, cornfields stretch as far as the eye can see, and catching fish with your bare hands is, you guessed it, illegal. That's right folks, in Indiana, you need a license to fish, and apparently opposable thumbs are not an acceptable substitute. Now I understand the need for fishing regulations. We need to protect our aquatic friends, and ensure that there are enough fish for everyone to enjoy. But outlawing the ancient and noble art of hand fishing? That seems a bit extreme, even for Indiana. What's the logic here? Are they worried that Indiana's rivers will be overrun by bare-handed fish wrestlers, depleting the fish population faster than you can say Hoosier hospitality? Or is this just a way to sell more fishing licenses? Whatever the reason, this law is sure to leave you feeling confused and slightly cheated. So, if you're ever in Indiana and feel the urge to catch a fish with your bare hands, just remember, it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission. Or, get a fishing license. Chapter 6, Iowa. One-armed piano players play free. Our next stop takes us to Iowa, the Hawkeye state, known for its rolling fields, its butter cow sculpture at the state fair, and apparently its restrictive regulations on one-armed piano players. You see, in Iowa, it's illegal for one-armed piano players to charge for their performances. Yes, you heard that right. If you've only got one hand to tickle the ivories, you better be doing it for free. Now, I don't know about you, but this law strikes me as a little off-key. I mean, talk about adding insult to injury. Not only do these talented individuals have to overcome the challenge of playing an instrument designed for two hands, but they're also legally barred from making a living from it. What's the thinking behind this law? Were one-armed pianists flooding the Iowa music scene, driving down wages for two-handed musicians? Was there a rogue group of one-armed piano players holding saloon patrons hostage with their mournful melodies? Whatever the reason, this law is a real head-scratcher. So, if you're ever in Iowa and you come across a one-armed piano player, be sure to show your appreciation with a generous tip, because let's be honest, they deserve it more than most. Chapter 7, Kentucky Blue Ducks and the Law. Hold your horses, folks, because we're about to gallop into Kentucky, the bluegrass state, where the horses are fast, the bourbon is smooth, and the laws are, well, let's just say they're as colorful as a certain type of poultry. In Kentucky, it's illegal to dye a duckling blue and offer it for sale unless more than 6 are for sale at once. Yes, you read that right. In Kentucky, you can't just go around selling solitary blue ducklings. You need a minimum of 6 to make your avian dye job legal. Why 6, you ask? Well, that's a question for the ages. Maybe the lawmakers figured that 1 blue duckling is a cry for help, 2 is a coincidence, but 6? Well, that's just good business. What kind of legal eagle came up with this law, and what about the poor souls who just want 1 blue duckling? Are they doomed to a life of beige feathered normalcy? This law is about as clear as a bottle of moonshine, but hey, at least Kentucky's ducklings are safe from being sold as solo acts in a bizarre avian circus. Probably. Next stop, Louisiana, the Pelican State, where the food is spicy, the music is soulful, and the laws are, well, let's just say they're not afraid to get cheesy. In Louisiana, it's illegal to send a surprise pizza delivery to someone. That's right, folks. In the land of gumbo and beignets, you can't just go around spreading joy with unexpected deliveries of cheesy goodness. Now, I'm a firm believer that pizza is always a good idea, but apparently the good people of Louisiana disagree. Maybe they're worried about pepperoni-induced panic attacks, or perhaps they just really value consent when it comes to carb consumption. Whatever the reason, this law is enough to make you want to order a large pizza with extra sausage, and then eat it all by yourself, just to spite the system. So next time you're in Louisiana and feeling generous, maybe just send a text message asking if your friend wants a pizza. It's the law, after all. Get ready to tee off on this one, folks, because we're headed to Massachusetts, the Bay State, where the history is rich, the accents are thicker than clam chowder, and the golf balls are, thankfully, not explosive. That's right, in Massachusetts, it is illegal to own an explosive golf ball. Now, I'm not a golfer myself, but even I can see the wisdom in this particular law. I mean, can you imagine the chaos on the golf course if explosive golf balls were legal? It would be like a scene out of a Wile E. Coyote cartoon, with golf carts flying through the air and golfers diving for cover behind sand traps. But seriously, what kind of person looks at a golf ball and thinks, you know what this needs? A little more bang for my buck? And what were the circumstances that led to this law being passed? Was there a particularly nasty golf course rivalry that escalated to explosive proportions? Whatever the reason, let's all breathe a sigh of relief that in Massachusetts at least, golf is a relatively safe sport. Hold on to your hairspray, folks, because our final stop on this legal roller coaster takes us to Nebraska, the Cornhusker state where the plains are vast, the stakes are bigger than your head, and the laws governing perms are surprisingly specific. In Nebraska, it is illegal for a mother to give her daughter a perm without a state license. That's right. In Nebraska, you need a license to curl hair, even if that hair belongs to your own flesh and blood. Now, I'm no hairstylist, but this seems a bit excessive, even for a state that takes its corn very seriously. Was there a rash of perm-related injuries caused by overzealous mothers? Did the Nebraska Cosmetology Board lobby for this law to drum up business? Whatever the reason, this law is just plain baffling. So, if you're ever in Nebraska and your daughter asks for a perm, you might want to just point her in the direction of a licensed professional. Or, pack a wide-brimmed hat. So there you have it, 10 of the craziest laws that you can only find in America. From regulating mustaches and pickles to banning surprise pizzas and explosive golf balls, these laws prove that America is truly a land of contradictions, where freedom and absurdity often go hand in hand. Which one did you find the most surprising? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're at it, tell us about any other crazy laws you've heard of. Because let's be honest, there are probably plenty more where these came from. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating content. And remember, next time you think your local laws are strange, just be grateful you don't live in a place where you can get arrested for giving your daughter a perm.